You've probably heard it before. A spoonful of local honey a day can supposedly act like a natural vaccine against seasonal allergies. The idea is that by eating local pollen, you can teach your body to just ignore it. It sounds almost too good to be true, right? An elegant, natural solution to stop the itchy eyes, runny nose, and constant sneezing that makes allergy season so miserable for so many of us. But does the science actually back this up? Well, we're gonna get into the research, and I'll be honest, it doesn't. But don't click away, because that's not the end of the story. In fact, it's where the story gets truly fascinating. The truth is, the popular allergy myth has been distracting us from the real, scientifically proven superpowers that raw honey possesses. Today, we're gonna bust the myth, but more importantly, we're going to uncover why choosing local honey is still one of the best things you can do, for reasons that are far more powerful than you've been told. We'll separate fact from fiction, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why the honey you choose really, really matters. You have to admit the idea is really compelling. The theory behind it is based on a real medical treatment called immunotherapy, the very same principle behind allergy shots. Doctors expose you to tiny, controlled amounts of an allergen, and over time, your immune system learns not to freak out. It builds tolerance. So it seems logical that if local bees are gathering pollen from the very plants that make you sneeze, eating their honey should work like a natural, edible allergy shot. It's a beautiful story. You're not just eating a sweetener, you're consuming a tiny piece of your local ecosystem, a golden spoonful of your environment that gently teaches your body to make peace with the outdoors. It feels ancient, wise, and a whole lot more appealing than getting weekly injections or relying on antihistamines that can make you drowsy. This promise of a natural, side effect-free cure is exactly why the local honey theory is so popular. It speaks to a real problem with a solution that feels both wholesome and empowering. But when we put this theory under the scientific microscope, some sticky problems start to show up. Here's where the beautiful story starts to fall apart. The main problem with the honey as allergy shot idea comes down to one critical detail: the type of pollen involved. The allergies that give most of us hay fever are triggered by pollen that's light, dry, and carried by the wind. Think pollen from trees like oak and birch, or from grasses and weeds like ragweed. This stuff is designed to travel for miles, and it's so fine that it gets everywhere, your eyes, nose, and lungs, kicking off that allergy reaction we all know and hate. Now think about bees. What kinds of plants do they hang out with? Bees couldn't care less about wind-pollinated grasses or ragweed. They're drawn to big, bright, colorful flowers. The pollen from these flowers is heavy and sticky. It's made to cling to an insect's legs, not to float in the breeze. As Melanie Carver from the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America points out, the pollen that bees collect from flowers is rarely the same pollen that causes our seasonal allergies. So right away we have a major mismatch. The pollen that's making you miserable is almost never the pollen that ends up in your honey. Sure, a few airborne grains might drift into a hive by accident, but the amount is tiny and totally random. You just can't be sure the honey you're eating contains the specific thing you're allergic to. And even if, by some wild chance, your jar of honey did contain the exact pollen you're allergic to, there's another huge problem: the dose. For medical immunotherapy to work, doctors have to give you a standardized, carefully measured dose of an allergen. They know exactly how much you're getting. With honey, it's a total crapshoot. The pollen content changes wildly from one hive to another and from one season to the next. You have no idea how much pollen, if any, you're getting in each spoonful. On top of that, the scientific evidence for this is just not there. The few studies that exist are small, and their results are all over the place. One study might hint at a small benefit, while another finds zero difference between people eating local honey, processed honey, or even just a honey-flavored syrup. Because there's no solid, high-quality evidence, major health organizations like the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America don't recommend using local honey to treat allergies. And without sounding like a tinfoil hat-wearing woman, let's be honest, they are governed in some way or another by Big Pharma, and we all know how they work. But that is an entirely new video. And here's the final nail in the coffin for this theory, especially for honey from a big grocery store. Most commercial honey is heavily processed. It's pasteurized, heated to high temperatures, and ultra-filtered to look perfectly clear and smooth on the shelf. This processing strips out almost all of the pollen, along with many of honey's other benefits. So that squeaky clean honey bear has lost any potential it might have had to help with allergies. So if honey isn't a magic allergy cure, should you just forget about it? Absolutely not, because the real, scientifically proven benefits of raw honey are even more impressive than the myth. This is where we stop talking about what honey doesn't do and focus on what it does incredibly well. First, raw honey is an antioxidant powerhouse. It's loaded with compounds like flavonoids and phenolic acids that help fight off damage to your cells. Think of it as part of your body's defense squad against inflammation and chronic disease. Second, raw honey is famous for its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory powers. For centuries, people have used it to soothe sore throats and heal wounds. In fact, studies have shown that honey can be a really effective cough suppressant, sometimes even better than over-the-counter medicines. That soothing feeling on your throat can give you real relief from the cough and post-nasal drip that often comes with allergies. And finally, raw honey contains naturally occurring enzymes, vitamins, and minerals. These are the good things that are often destroyed or filtered out when commercial honey gets processed. When you choose raw honey, you're getting a whole, living food, not just a simple sugar. This brings us back to the big question. If the allergy theory is a bust, why does it have to be local honey? Does it really matter where it comes from? Yes, it absolutely does. Here's why. First and foremost, when you buy local, you're much more likely to get honey that is raw and unfiltered. Small-scale beekeepers who sell at farmers markets usually do as little as possible to the honey. They want to keep its natural character, which means all those amazing antioxidants, enzymes, and anti-inflammatory compounds are still in there. The perfectly clear honey at the supermarket has been processed for a long shelf life, sacrificing the very things that make honey healthy. The second reason is purity. The global honey market can be a shady business. Big commercial brands often mix honey from different countries, and some have been caught diluting their honey with cheap syrups. When you buy from a local beekeeper, you can actually talk to them. You know where your food is coming from. It's a direct connection to the source, and you can be confident you're getting 100% pure honey. And third, you're supporting your local ecosystem. Buying local honey means you're supporting the beekeepers who manage the bees in your area. Bees are critical for pollinating countless plants, including many of our fruits and vegetables. Your purchase helps keep these vital pollinators healthy, which promotes biodiversity and strengthens your local economy. It's an investment in the health of your own backyard. So how do you find the good stuff? Check out local farmers markets, farm stands, or find a beekeepers association near you. Look for labels that say raw and unfiltered. And don't be put off if the honey is cloudy or even solid. That's called crystallization, and it's what natural raw honey does. It's actually a good sign that it hasn't been overheated. Once you've got it, forget the allergy myth and start thinking of it as a truly healthy food. A teaspoon a day is a great way to get those antioxidants. Stir it into tea to soothe a sore throat or a cough. Drizzle it on your yogurt or oatmeal instead of regular sugar. And have fun exploring the different flavors. The taste of local honey tells a unique story about the landscape it came from. So what about you? Have you ever used honey to help with a cough, or do you just love the taste? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video helped clear things up, please give it a like and subscribe for more myth-busting, home remedies, and homesteading ways. To wrap it all up, while local honey isn't the miracle allergy cure we hoped for, the reality is much more valuable. The popular theory just doesn't hold up. The pollen in honey isn't the kind that causes most seasonal allergies, but the real reason to buy local honey is even better. You're choosing a raw, unprocessed food packed with proven health benefits, from antioxidants to anti-inflammatory properties. Choosing local isn't about chasing a myth.
It's about choosing purity over processing, potency over pasteurization, and supporting the pollinators and people who make your own community thrive.